Hello everybody, today we'll be doing part 2 of a reverse doubly linked list. And again, the problem is to reverse the linked list into pods. And in the first video, if you haven't watched it yet, in the descriptions below, we had created our linked list. Now we will be reversing the linked list, and a test to make sure that we are able to do that is to reverse the reversed linked list. So, right. So let's make a test. Test.append. We're making a input, and our input is our 1, right? And our output is going to be, let's say, reverse list, and we're going to put 1 in there. Of course, we're going to reverse it a second time. So because we reversed it twice, it should be equal. If it's not equal, then we know for sure that it's not the same. So the definition, reverse list, and we're going to take in a head node, and that's going to be a linked list node, and we're going to return a linked list node. Okay, with that, let's return the head. I think that should give us a correct test. Of course, that is, we're just returning the same thing multiple times. But we're going to have to reverse it, so it's not going to be the same. And you might be wondering why I don't just create 2 brand new linked lists. Well, the reason for that is because by doing a reverse, we can reverse the exact link list nodes. If we do a reverse of a different set of nodes, it would be a different set of nodes. They wouldn't have the same sort of hash values. So here we go. Like we said about the reversing, this is what we're going to do. This is our plan, and let's implement it. So let me copy this plan and move it down. First, we create a dummy node, a previous node, and a current node. So for some reason, it's not auto-completing. I'm not sure why. But let's set this as H because it's for head. Okay, so now we have a previous node and a current node, and that's going to be, previous is going to be equal to a dummy node. And the current node is going to be the head node. Of course, dummy node up next is our head node. Okay, so we created our nodes. We need to do a while curve. And we're going to create a next node. So this gives us this particular picture here with 1, 2, 3 going forward. Now, what we're going to do is set current.next to previous. And previous equals current. So we have swapped everything around. Now we're going to point the previous to equal to the current, and current equals the next. So we shift everything up forward. Again, when we reach the end, where current is now none, we have to set the head to be equal to the prev. The previous item. We also have to remove the previous pointer from the head. So head.previous is none. Lastly, we have to remove the dummy.previous.next, which we had over here. We have to remove that link between the dummy and the last node. So dummy node dot prev dot next is equal to none. We also have to set dummy node dot next to be none as well, because that was pointing to a 1 earlier. So remove link to dummy node and remove link from head node to and from the dummy node. Okay, with that, I believe we have completed 2 our specifications. Let's print out a, let's just run the test and go from there. Oh, it looks like it worked. So here we were able to reverse the linked list using this function. And now we have to reverse it by pods. I was gonna do 3 videos, but it looks like this video was pretty short to get to reverse list. So I'm gonna just finish up part 3 here. Okay, so what we need to do is go back to the planning phase, and we have to remove this part of the notes. And let's get back to the planning phase. So in our planning phase, so part 3, reverse by pod. How do we reverse by pod? I know that we can reverse by any doubly linked list, but what if your whole linked list is like this? What do? You can't just reverse, like stop here, right? Well, what you can do instead is with our function is break it apart. If we set if we got this, right, then we can reverse each portion of the list, and we can just attach everything together. We can reverse everything and just attach each portion of this to the next. So that means we have to split up our list and reverse every single list. So split up the list into K. Then reverse the each list in our, let's have an array of like heads, in our array of head nodes. Okay, and then after reversing each item, we're going to attach the tail. Then for each node, we will attach the tail node, attach the tail dot next to be the head of the next node, head node. Okay, so we'll take the tail node, we'll get the tail node, and from there we will attach it to the tail node, the head node. One thing to note is that when we do reverse each list in our head node, array of head nodes, let's return the tail node as well. Because if we return the tail node as a tuple, right, we are able to immediately get our next tail node. And that will speed up our operations to an O of n operation, rather than having the need to go to the end of our from the head to all the way to the last node before we're able to attach these items. So the attachment would be much faster if we return a list in our array of head nodes and tail nodes. So one thing we want to do instead we want to return when we reverse lists is that we want to return a tuple instead of linked list node. We want to return two of these instead. We're going to return the tail node and the head node. So let's write a comment. Reverse a doubly linked list with the head and tail node. Okay. Reverse list. Okay. With that, let's return. We're only returning the head here. What is the tail node? Well, the tail node actually is this particular item right here. That's the tail node, and we're sending the tail node to not point at the dummy node. We don't want the dummy node because it would not be a you would have an H at the end of the linked list. That's not what we want. So what we're gonna do is set this to be our tail node. So now we have a head and a tail, and let's return this as a tuple. Now we're going to insert this into a array, right? And create our array of head nodes and tail nodes. So that way, we're able to then attach these items together. So with that, I think we should get to implementation. One thing I've just thought about just now. The thought is that I haven't tested out every single way of reversing yet, and hopefully that's not an issue. So I'm going to start testing that first before I start writing some code, because I don't want to just start typing out code that does not work, right? Let's return none. Let's see what happens. And let's return just the maybe a 3 node or a 4 node. Let's just make a 4 node and test that one. So it's single node 4. And with that, I think we are good to go. So just give me a 4 here, and let's reverse these linked lists. They should all be equal to each other. Let's run. Let's see. So none is a problem in our position because we're trying to get previous. We're trying to current is none, and we're trying to point things to things that don't exist. So if not head, return none. Also, we're returning a tuple here. So with a head node and a tail node. So actually, what's happening here is we're not returning anything that's what we actually want, because we're not returning the head, right? So we have to return the reverse list of O and reverse list of O again. So with that, we should be good to go. Let's run the first test and see if that works first. Okay, so looking good. We were able to reverse the list, and let's check out the tail as well. Why not check out the tail, right? So instead, let's try the tuple, right? And I think what we should get is this tuple should be equal to this tuple if we remove these zeros here. So it looks like every time we make a change to our function, we should probably check to make sure everything looks good. So what we tried here was to reverse a tuple, and that doesn't work. So we reverse the tuple, and we reverse the tuple once more. Okay, that's fine. And then we will take a look at the tuples. Okay, they're different. Oh no. What happened? This is not 1 and 3. Let's see what's going on. Ah, I see. So I thought we were supposed to print a tuple. Okay, no problem. Let's print one of the items first, and then print the second item. How's that? Let's see what's going on here. So we have 1, 2, 3, and we have a integer. Okay, how about this? Let's just reverse it once. Let's see what's going on here. So this should be fine. And let's reverse it once. And see what's going on with the one item here. You have some... Okay. Everything's looking good. So 3, 2, 1. But this is a problem. Okay, I'm gonna try it again. What's going on? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. Let's see. So I'm pretty sure we returned a tail node. Let's print this tail node. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so we have an infinite loop right now. I'm gonna have to stop all of this. And find out what's going on here. It looks like we won't be able to get to part 3. We got started, but we're not getting there. We have issues to debug. We might not even, we might not get there. So because we changed one item here, but we can't print the tail, but we can run the code. 125, 132, and it's false. And I'm not entirely sure. I mean, this is past the test. Yeah, that's good. But I don't see why I can't print my tail. And yeah, what's wrong with printing my tail? I see. So the reason why I can't print the tail is because I have this previous node. So it goes and looks at the negative, right? And reverses it. and there are no next nodes because it was not a head node. And because we reverse, by going into the reverse, we get all these nodes in our reverse nodes, reverse vowels. And that means that vowel does not equal to reverse vowels. Also, it might be more sinister than that, because we might be going in an infinite loop somewhere. Our function does not work properly, because even if it does go in reverse, it should not go in reverse forever. So let's see what's going on when we print our reverse node. Let's print 3. Let's see what's going on here. Our print function might be bad. Okay, so that's fine. Yeah. So val does not contain anything at this point, and that's why we're getting the error that we're getting. And this seems to be did seem to be a good check. We went forward and backwards for a node before we printed, and it looks like we have caused some issues here, but that's okay. What we're gonna do is that we don't need to print. We don't need the statement when we're printing a regular node. We do want it for a head node, but I think with the test that we're doing, we don't need this to ensure that it goes forward and backwards the same using a head node. It's only for testing purposes. So let's make this a comment, and for testing only, let's say, yeah, for testing only, check node, head node is the same forwards and back. Okay, so we comment this out, and I think we are able to print our number now. Oh, okay, great. I was worried for a moment. Okay, so I think that we should be able to do the reverse of the reverse and have our tuple now. Let's run it. Oh, it's false. I wonder why. So let's check that out. We are sending back an H. Oops. It should be dummy node.previous, not dummy node.previous.next. Perfect. There we go. There, we got the tail node. Perfect. So test was good. This is wonderful. And with that, we have the head node and the tail node. So we have solved reverse list for how to get the head node and tail node from reverse list. Now what we're going to do is split up the list into k, and then for each node, we will attach the tail node to the head node. So we will write a brand new function for that. And we'll also bring down our plan. Okay, I have brought down the plan. The plan is now, this is checked. And we are going to split the list up into k pods. So, and insert head into an array. Okay, so let's make a defined function for that. Let's call it reverse list by pod, and we're going to take in our head node and a k item. Head node is list linked to list node, and we're going to take in a k, which is the integer, and we're going to return a linked list node, which is going to be our head, and that's good. So now time to make an array of heads, and so for or while cur, let me think about this for a moment. Yes, this will work. So let cur equals head, and we will, while there is a cur equals cur dot next, and k, we need a count. Count is equal to k, and so count minus equals 1, right? And if count is equal to 0, then we're going to make a brand new pod. So count is now equal to k again, and array dot append, we're going to append that cur. So that's going to be our head node. Let's see if that works out properly, and let's print out our array. Hopefully it works. I'm not sure if it does. I think it works. So right now, that's what reverse by pod will do. Well, let's turn off our main, like by not calling it. It's pretty simple. And we're just gonna play around with reverse list by pod. Let's put in our 1, 2, 3. And let's see if we can just print it out by k. So we want, let's say, k equals 1. And that means we're going to print the, we have none. Okay, so we have a problem. Okay, that's a problem. Okay, so because, I mean, the first one, we should be appending cur. The first cur should be appended. Why is that not occurring? Oh, let's run it again. Okay, we have a 1 inside. Well, that's not good, because I'm pretty certain that count should... Let me print count to see what's going on here. This is confusing. Oh, I know what's going on. So we did not attach these items together. Okay, so our, let's see. Okay, count's looking good. We're printing our first item, our second item, and our third item, a third head. So let's print 2. What do we expect? I think there should be a better way to test this. So with this, on the other hand, we are only getting this is not what we want, because we're supposed to get the first 2 items, not the last 2 items. So I think if count equals k, then we should append. I think so. So we append the first one. Yes. If count equals k, append the cur. Count minus equals 1. Cur equals cur dot next. If count equals 0, cur equals k. Once it hits 0, then it will become k. I think this should work. Let's run it. Okay, so we have our first item and we have our third item. Great. So let's see what happens. What we want is all 8 items, remember? And let's test that. Yeah, this is going to have to be broken up into a third part because we are just not making time here. I don't see how like doing this problem can be a problem in interview setting. I think just getting the reverse doubly linked list is an accomplishment in itself, and I just don't see how we can possibly finish this problem in half an hour. This is just, I think, way too much. Okay, so we're going to reverse it by k, 3, and we should get 3 items. We should just not print the whole r, we should just print r dot val for node in r, print node dot val. That's all we want. So we have 1, 4, and 7. Is that what we wanted? So the answer is, I think yes, that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted to split, where's my notes? We wanted to split to get the heads of each item, and we got them. I think this is called get heads function. So let's make a comment about what this does, and get head of k pods in array, or split up list into k pods, insert head into array. I think that's the best one. Okay, so with that, I'll come back to you in part 3. Let's complete this problem, and I don't think you'll ever see this in an interview. But if you do get it, and you've seen this before, maybe you can get pretty far. Okay, I will see you in the next one then. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe for more videos. Check the link in the description below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.